everybody, welcome back to the channel, Pieces of April. So today y'all, I'm going to do something really exciting, right? I am going to do my first acrylic pour. An acrylic pour. That is what I got here, my setup. And we're going to get into it. This is my first time doing this, y'all, so I don't know how it's going to come out. I've been researching. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. There's a lot of different techniques. There's a lot of different mediums you can use, all kinds of different paints. But we are going to use what we got and we're going to see what we get, okay? All right, y'all, so I have burnt sienna paint in this cup.
Burnt sienna.
Burnt sienna, yes. My pouring medium here, this is a 70-30 mix of all-purpose glue and water. And you mix this up. So this is going to be what we use as our medium. So now, when we mix the pouring medium with the paint, the ratio is 2 to 1. So it's 2 parts pouring medium, 1 part paint. So it's different kinds of mediums. This is the cheapest one at my disposal, which is all-purpose glue and water. There's also Floetrol, and there's also other pouring mediums like Liquitex that you can use. When I was researching this, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can use, but this is what I had available, so this is what I'm using. So we're gonna eyeball this. If you had like a scale, then you could do it in grams and measure everything out, so it's exactly 2 to 1 ratios. But I ain't got all that, we ain't doing that. We just gonna eyeball it, okay? So we're gonna pour this in. I would say that's about 2 to 1. What you think, babe?
Yeah, look good to me.
Okay. So we'll close this up. Keep your jars, y'all. This is just a jar I use. Make that. Don't waste stuff. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up. It's a little lumpy, but it's okay. It's gonna mix. This is one of the hardest parts, getting your medium together and mixing the paint, because it has to be a certain consistency when you pour. In the medium, this medium, in the pouring medium that you use, it just helps you create what you want to create with the paints. It makes it more workable. It makes the paint movable, because this is a really thick paint. I actually mixed already 3 different colors. I'm gonna use 4 colors for this first attempt at acrylic pouring fluid art, y'all. So y'all is doing this with me. So this is really important, y'all. You gotta make sure you mix this really, really well. You don't want it lumpy, you don't want any clumps. You gotta make sure the consistency is right. You're getting there. So let's check. Okay. So can you guys see how when I do that, you can still see the line and it goes away? It's a little too thick. You can see how it pools. It's a little funnel at the very end. It's a little too thick. So we're gonna add water. Just a little bit at a time to thin it out. Mix. This is the most important part of doing this, y'all, from my research. Figuring out how to do this. So if you have a scale and you can measure it out, it gets easier. And some paints are heavier and denser than others. So you might need more medium and more water, and some or less, depending on the thickness of the paint. Some are really watery and you don't need as much medium. All right, that looks better to me. The white I'm going to be using. These 3 paints were in jars like this. They are a lot thicker than this burnt sienna, which was in the tube here. So these needed a little more water than this one. I'm not sure about this. We gonna see, y'all. And those are just bubbles. You'll get bubbles in there. But this one, kind of hard to see. I think that's a pretty good consistency. I already mixed that one. I got the blue here. That one looks pretty good. And I have black here. I could tell the black paint and the white paint were a lot thicker and more dense than the blue paint. I didn't need as much water to thin this one out as I did these two. So we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna do a drip test, y'all. I'm just gonna see if all of these drip at the same rate. So I'm gonna do a dab of that. White. Dab of the blue. Dab of the black. And a dab of the burnt sienna. I was just gonna tilt this paper and see if they're all dripping at the same. All right, so y'all can see this one's a little thicker. These are pretty close. And these two are kind of the same. So we're gonna add a little bit more water to the black and the blue. And a little bit more to the burnt sienna. You see how they're almost even? These two and these two. So these are thinner. These are thicker. So I need more water in here. And a little bit more water in here so they can all kind of flow with the consistency of the white, because I don't want to add more to the white. So I want it to match the white. I want all these to match the white. So I'm going to start pouring my paints in the cup in the layers that I want them. Now I want to figure out which colors that I want to start with. But this is a whole science project, y'all. This is a lot of science that goes into this, a lot of math. Not a lot of math, simple math, but science and all kinds of stuff. It gives you different, depending on the medium you use and the paint you use, you can get cells, you can get air bubbles, you can take a blowtorch and pop the air bubbles. You can take a painting spatula. This is too small for that, but you can take a painting spatula and make swipes and make all kinds of neat abstract art with this, okay? So this is just one way that I'm gonna do it, but I will be experimenting with this because I feel like I'm gonna really like this. So I wanna figure out, how do I want to layer my paint? So I think I'm gonna go with my blue here, and we mixed these earlier. We mixed the blues earlier in the video. Y'all can check that out, see how I mixed them. But we're gonna go in, I think I wanna start with blue. We're gonna start with blue. It's gonna be one layer. Then I think I'm gonna go with white. You see how it's stacking on each other? That white is sinking because that white is heavier than the blue. So that's okay. And I'm gonna go in with my burnt sienna. It's another layer. Then I'm gonna go in with my black. And I'm just gonna repeat the process. Blue. And it dripped on the canvas, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. Now you see the pattern that it's making, y'all, inside? And again, that white is really heavy. That's why it's sinking. So the pattern might not come out exactly how I want it, but that's okay. Just gonna keep going until we fill up the cup. See how nice that black spreads though? Maybe I'll go in the blue there. So you can definitely tell the blue and the black, they're really balanced in the weight and everything, the way they spread. I think I know my white is a little thicker than I want it. That's why it's sinking. And I know my burnt sienna, it's about consistent. So I think the white was the only one that was the issue, but it's okay, it's okay. It's still gonna come out cool. All right, we got a little paint left over, that's okay. We will use that for a different pour. Don't pour out your paint. Just keep it and mix it. So y'all can see the pattern here in the paint. All right, let's do this. Let's see what happens, y'all. All right, so I think I'm gonna do a circular pour. Do I wanna do a straight pour? Let's see. I think I'm gonna do a circular pour, y'all. So here we go. You see those colors how they mix in? I'm gonna go around the other way. Go back that way. Kind of mix and turn. Get a cool little pattern there. I'm gonna put some in the corners here. I'm just gonna get some black and go around here. Get the corners. See how pretty that is? Look at that. How cool is that? How cool is that? Okay. Too excited, y'all. So I'm just gonna go around the edges. And I'm probably gonna lose all this when I start tilting, but that's okay. I just wanna kind of use all the paint. Get a little blue over here. And this might not be the correct way to do it, y'all, but this is how Pieces of April is doing it, okay? This is how we doing it over here. So my white got drowned out only because it was dense and it started mixing with the other colors. So that's what happened with the white, but you can kind of still see it. All right, now we're gonna spread this out, y'all, okay? We're gonna spread it. So this is the messy part, but it's the fun part. So I'm gonna take our canvas. Oh, also y'all, we want our canvas to be level. So I have cups under here to keep the canvas level while I'm mixing and I'm tilting the paint. You want your canvas level. If you have a level, that's perfect. I would do that. But you want this level so when it dries, because it has to sit flat dry. You want this level because when it dries, you want it flat so the paint isn't shifting after you've done and made your design and you set it and it shifts. Okay? So that is why we have that here. So, and I also sprayed the canvas first to tighten up the canvas because you don't want it too loose because then the paint will pool in the middle. So you spray this so this will shrink, so the canvas will shrink and tighten up, okay? So let's do this. We're gonna spread that. Just gonna spread it around. Now we're gonna tilt it to one side. Bring it back up to the middle. Tilt it to that side. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm doing it, y'all. Okay. And we're gonna bring that back to the middle. We're gonna go this side. So you want to go to side, from one side, get the paint to spill over, back to the middle. See, look at that, y'all. Look at that, y'all. Oh my God. This is my first time doing this. So cool. See, I knew I was going to love this. I knew I was going to love it when I was researching it. So back in the middle, and we're going to get this corner. It's messy, y'all. It's messy. And we're going to bring it back. Back to the middle. I'm going to shift it up just a little bit. Ah! I love the composition on this. I like how it's in the middle. I think I want it. Now I want to make sure I sit it level so it can dry. Ah! Y'all see that? Oh my God! That's so dope, y'all! That is so dope! So I did 4 colors. And you see how it marbles out and all the colors? Look at all that. Now, if I had a blowtorch, I would go over it real lightly and pop the bubbles that's in here. Or you can leave it like that. It's fine like that. It's not a problem. But it would give it a little more character. It would make cells. It would look like DNA was popping out. Like right here, you see that? With a blowtorch, those bubbles would pop and it would give it more detail. But this, look y'all, oh my God. You see the burnt sienna kind of making gold in the blue, and then you can see the white. It almost looks like an aerial view of the ocean, right? You can see the sand and all that. This is so deep. I'm gonna have to do another one. Y'all. This was so neat. Basic stuff, glue, all-purpose glue, water. Mix that to a 70-30 ratio. That's your medium, your pour medium. Then mix that, your pour medium, with 2-to-1 paint. Okay, and that's the ratio. And then you just do the test like how we did to see, make sure it's flowing all together evenly. And then you do your pour. This pour that I did was, I think it's called a circular pour. Is when you just go around. You layer the paint and you just pour it around and keep pouring and keep pouring and keep pouring. There's a whole science to how much paint to canvas area that you have, but I ain't need all that, y'all. I just did it. Ew. So y'all see it? It's gorgeous, right? I love it. So this is gonna dry. It has to sit flat. That's why, again, it's very
Level.
make sure. See the edges too there? How it flowed off and got the edges of the canvas. And I'll touch all those parts up that it missed. See how neat that is? It's still wet, and this is acrylic paint, so it's gonna dry dark. It's gonna look like this with the pattern, but it's not gonna be as glossy because it's gonna dry dark, because that's what acrylic paint does. And after you're done, you can varnish this if you like. There's different kind of varnishes. I don't have any varnish. Like I said, we use what we got. So we're gonna let this dry for 24 hours, and then we're gonna come back and see what it looks like. But again, it was a good mess, y'all. Look, it was so fun. So with your paint here that spilled over, right? Don't throw this away. Scrape this up and use it again. Most of the time when you use a whole bunch of paints, mix all the paints together, you get black, or gray. So we might get a pretty gray color with the rest of that paint. So don't throw that away. Just scrape it off and put it in another container. And you can use it for a different pour. So we're not gonna waste nothing. But we're gonna let this dry. We're gonna come back and I will let y'all see what it looks like when it's dry. Until the next video, keep grinding, keep shining, good people. Peace.